what you want to do is when the season begins, you want to hit that. You give it everything you got. You want to crescendo as quickly as possible. You see. Now, if you crescendo high, in other words, the higher you go. Let's say if it lasts 120 days, it doesn't go to zero in the spirit.
Yeah.
But it starts going downhill. You see. So the higher the crescendo, the same decline. So the higher the crescendo, it's going to feel like a crescendo even at the end of the season. Now, things of the spirit will overlap seasons if their crescendo's high enough.
Oh man.
You can ride into another season.
You ride into another season. So it's all about the crescendo.
And
It's all about the crescendo.
you said the harvest is after the crescendo.
Yes. The crescendo is not the harvest.
I get it.
With this stuff, if we put the structures in place to catch people, the drop may not be as bad as what it would be otherwise.
Well, normally I don't understand it. There's just an inherited drop from a crescendo in things that are organic. Now, I'm sure God can change that at any time, but I've just noticed that. But what happens is the higher that crescendo, in other words, there's a time that you hold, and then there's a time you throw everything at it you got, you see. And so when you start throwing everything at it you got, that's the time that you can't do anything wrong. You say the gospel backwards and it works. You've heard me say that. You just throw it out there, and it just keeps working. I can feel the Lord.
I do feel the Lord.
So what happens is if we set an agreement and in unity and say, here's where we're headed. This is where we're headed. And it's not if it will or what we're headed. But we got to understand now, when we know that the words go,
Yep. We gotta go.
and you do it all. You call Kirkpatrick or whatever you need to do. And
Yep.
you just go. You've got to have the groups going. You got to have this going. I don't care if you're not ready. They got to go. We're shooting for the crescendo. We give it everything we got. We give it everything in the spirit we got in here. You totally give up your life for the crescendo. And the higher we can hit that thing, and that's like at Brownsville, I think it lasted 5 years. The truth is they hit a crescendo way up here. So you get these big revivals where crescendo's so high, but see, it still had a decline.
It did. Yeah.
You see. Now what happens is once you hit that crescendo, and as it starts coming down, somewhere in there, that's when the harvest takes place. You see, the harvest takes place, but the harvest is on the down curve. It's not at the crescendo. It's because it's the high spirit that brings the harvest. You see, it's gestating it's the growth time for the. In other words, if you're a corn plant, you're going to grow. You have a big, beautiful stalk at crescendo. I mean, the sun's shining, it's raining, it's growing. It's got its leaves out here. It looks like $1 million stalk. In the process of that, it starts making an ear. And it's at the process of that, the greater the stalk, the heavier the stalk, the greater the pollen. And that's spirit. So the greater crescendo we have, we pollinate everybody that's lost. And you pollinate who's around the stalk. You see, pollination is out of overflow. Pollination falls down upon people. It falls on them. But it's got to come out of something. It comes out of our crescendo. Then all of a sudden we're going to pollinate the spirit. And then when that happens, the ear are a result. The ear's going to come out whether it's pollination or not, because it's the time. We don't make the ear come out. That's not what we do. God, He'll shoot it. But what happens, a false pollination is when the ear shoots out before the stamen or the very top comes out and blooms. And then you'll have, or let's say it gets ready to bloom and there's no water. Water cuts off. Not enough water to shoot it out to pollinate. The ear's coming anyway.
Really?
So you'll have the ear come out. Then all of a sudden 2 weeks later it'll rain. The head will come on out and it'll start pollinating, but it's too late. But you got to understand, on an ear corn, you know the silks on the ear corn? One silk goes to 1 grain.
Really?
Every silk goes to 1 grain. Every silk goes to one grain.
I always thought that was just a bad design.
Every silk. No, it's individual. Every
You've ever had the shock one?
God treats every seed as an individual. He treats every seed as an individual.
That is
An ear of
too
corn
good.
never has an odd row. It's always in two. I don't care what you do, you pick up an ear of corn. So now, and here's what you got to understand. A grain of corn, if it's real dry, let's say it does pollinate a little, it does shoot an ear, but let's say you got an ear that doesn't have but half grain on it because it's too dry. So half of them got pollinated, half of them didn't. When there's not enough water or nourishment for an ear of corn to get full, each grain on an ear is 100% grain. It's just as good if it made 300 bushel acre or 5 bushel acre. If it's just got that one, each
So
grain,
the quantity suffers, but not the quality.
yes. The quality of each grain is the same. I had a dream about this years and years ago about the Crescendo, and I was out in the cornfield and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, I saw it. So we might get a few grains, or we can get a lot of grains on there. It has everything to do how we shine when we start pollinating. The more, and that comes out overflow. The more overflow we have, the more grains we will
Where does the
pollinate.
overflow come from?
It comes out. We're so full we crescendo. Those that are in the spirit, we're the ones that take the crescendo. The lost people don't take us to a crescendo. It's the presence in us in relationship with God that takes us to. In other words, what happens is when the sun comes out its fullest, and if the corn plant has got its water, and the sun comes out to its fullest, then the tassel comes out and it pollinates in its fullness. So we want to run in fullness. When you do your study on fullness, you'll see at different places, and that's an overflow. It's talking about we pollinate other people. What they're trying to do here with the elder is pollinate. Now, so the grains are there to be birthed, which is the baby, whatever. And if we get 4 or 5 or 20, it'll be just, if it's just one, it'll be, it's amazing to me. It looks like you'd have a poor quality one grain.
See, I've never thought that.
It could have 200 grains on an ear, or it could have 5 grains, and that 5 grains would still be as good a quality as the, and it still has the DNA as if it had been 300 bushel corn.
Wow. So if you ever replant that,
It's still got the DNA of the one
it
that
still has the
pollinated.
potential of 300.
So, anyway, when it's time to say let's go,
It's time to go.
you'll.
And are we there?
I don't.
Waiting on that one thing.
You gotta tell Les, because I ain't making back home.
I am not. Well, I don't need to go out off his table. But I'm just saying the Lord did show me that. But I've also have noticed, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I have noticed that thing is being followed.
Oh, really?
And Isaac's in the battle of his life.
Yep, it is.
His family's not wanting him to come and all this. He's got a great family.
Jenna's fighting.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, everybody counts them married, but it won't happen. It's home. So, and I know why it's home. So, but it's okay, because it'll come up.